Last week, I made a video explaining how I write comics and how I approach that chicken or the egg question of whether to write it or to draw it first, by really kind of doing both simultaneously, drawing out my panels and then writing out what goes into them. But I realized that I had forgotten a part of the equation, the actual genesis, or really the nexus of where the story ideas come from and how I get from that to making an actual comic. Now, I don't know a single writer who can tell you exactly where their story ideas come from, but near enough it comes down to something like this. It tends to happen where one idea meets another idea, the two ideas come together, they merge, and then they create this third story idea. As far as what those ideas are, though, and how they ultimately come together is something that's going to be up to each individual writer and the kinds of stories that they like to write. Taking the chicken or the egg question out of it for a moment, what I generally do is to begin writing my story out in prose, as though it's an actual novel. This allows me to get a richer sense of characterization. I can include details that can't be included in the final comic, and all of that stuff will inform those comic pages when I ultimately extrapolate images and panels out of my own writing. And I do this part longhand because I enjoy the tactile experience of writing with a fountain pen, and it also forces me to interact with my ideas in a different way than if I were typing. Holistically speaking, what I presented to you here as a part 2 to how I write comics is really more of a part 1, because this process would precede any kind of visualization that I'm doing in my sketchbook of images and words combined. But put these both together, watch my previous video, that's how I write comics.